Show. Let's stop the music. Last night was fun. Let's just start last night. I go live. I've been going live Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 hours at 5 o'clock West Coast time. And then, it was a big story. No lights. And so Sports Card Radio decides, I don't think I egged them on, but I told them to join the party, and I'm very glad they did. 3 hours is a long time. Shit, 2 hours is a long time. I don't discredit anyone for not watching a live. I'm just not a person that watches 2-3 hours of content like that. I'm a 20, 30-minute guy, maybe 10, 15. Wait a minute. Hey, still not bad. But get your thoughts. Anyways, it was a great night of sports card content. I would argue. I mean, unless you like watching those Atlanta Shillbilly stuff, I would argue it's one of the best nights in sports card content history. We had a real story. It's hot off the press, and I laid it out great, I felt, or I did my best. I said it how it was, followed by Sports Card Radio. People were happy to see them again. And, I thought this was so lame, so we'll start here. I mean, it does, they dug into Neo. I covered Neo, all right, okay. They really dug. But there's other words I want to say about this, but I think lame is probably the one that hits the spot. Like, what are we, 14 years old? I feel like, Neo did take a hit. And, who says this? Poor Neo here. Yes, he did. But this is way worse. This is so lame. Dustin, I'm going to tell you right now, as a guy who makes content and is in the same space as you, this is, what word besides lame can I use? Because the couple other words I want to say, I'm not going to say. Am I the only one that thinks this? I mean, is any of the chat that I think this is? It is 2025. We are all great. Sports SCR endorses Sports Card Dad on his cover. He's hoping to get some views and some love and some cred. I think this is so lame. Talk about, hey, I can't make good content, so I'm going to make sure everyone sees Sports Card Radio right on the front. They endorsed me. They love me. I'm the best. Now, speaking of which, I got message, and it says here in I got message this morning of Beckett's new podcast. Do yourself a favor. Don't listen to it. You're not missing much. Maybe a little bit of backtracking, but you're not missing much. I thought I'm not going to cover this much more, but I thought this is pretty much, hey, I had the live go in 270. Sports Card Radio comes on, does their thing, and I'm glad they didn't hold back. We'll get into my thoughts then. It's a little repetitive, a little harsh, but that's them. And they didn't hold back. I was a little worried they were going to, and they did not. And there was no Ken Golden advertisements. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a throwback to their original content. But, I've gotten messages, this. I thought this was so lame. You couldn't be a part. You couldn't be a part of it all. You had to, hide your face because you took down your video. We didn't see you in either comment section. You didn't call into either show. And then this is what you're putting, like it's 2021 or 2022 and we're all 15-year-old boys. There he is. I mean, Dustin, come on. So lame. I'm just saying. Have a little respect. Have a little integrity. All right, this is what we have in. Hardcore Collector should be calling in about 10 or 15 minutes. He has a couple topics. We'll do 10 minutes. Rhonda's going to call in. And she's been meaning to call in for a while. We'll see if I finally fix the echo. Little tease. Did the echo get fixed every show? I'm doing more and more research. Apparently could be this new Google Chrome update. Who knows? I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. I don't understand. Anyways, AIH will be calling in, I think around top of the hour, about 6. So about, 55 minutes from now. And then we got Chris. So we'll do 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes with AIH. I've never spoken to him. He again said that chat GPT'd if I got some bot subscribers. Nope. Not this guy. Not me. Not too many are coming out and saying that. How many have ever even addressed it? Because they did, of course. All genuine, baby. All hard work. All the grind. And sometimes hard work, YouTube's a funny game. You can still put a lot of work into YouTube and still really, what did I read? Oh, now I can't remember. It's crazy. My channel alone, this isn't nothing. This is Neo. Anyone that gets Dustin too, you're in the top 10% of all YouTube channels. I think if you average over 1,000 views, I forget the exact number. So YouTube is difficult. YouTube is weird. YouTube is funny. Anyways, this is what I have several voicemails. We've been stacking them up. So I have 6 or 7 voicemails ready to go. We might do that early. And someone will be back here to do it helped a lot. That was the first time we had somebody rolling comments, and it did help a lot. And I'd like to that's something I'm going to talk about later, is that probably need another second moderator in the next few weeks, and maybe someone else willing to I lost my train. I thought that I wanted to read that, but I'm going to wait else to help roll the comments, because it does help a lot. Love that I could address all 8 guys I've blocked in one chat. Nothing but love, fellas. Hey, it's a room where we all come together. That's what happens. We try to bring it all together. Last night, Jeremy Lee out of nowhere. That was nice of him, and it was knowledgeable. And he told me, I'm sorry if I was too aggressive. I'm like, bro, don't hold back. Tell me how you really feel. But no, he came on. He was sharp. That was unexpected. Last night was great. Last night was fun. Okay, SCV Sports Cards. I still don't understand taking down the entire channel. I'm gonna reach. I feel I don't want to overstep. I reached out a couple weeks ago. He said he's fine, but now I'm pretty curious. Anyways, I think it's more lame that Dustin made this a thing about endorsed by Sports Card Radio. Rather, I listened to their live. I don't remember them really talking about Dustin. It definitely wasn't a big point. I think this is more lame than taking down the video. If you felt certain kind of pressure to have to take down a video, man, you got to do you and live your life, and you got family. Okay. This shows you're trailing. This screams desperate. I don't know. It screams desperate. I find this weird, odd choice. Come at me. Tell me what I do. Desperate. Fine. I reached out, and it sounds, I will be. I've been so busy, but Midlife Sports Cards, we're in conversation. It's fun getting to know him. I talked to Dad Vintage Baseball. Great voice. Talk about a voice. And so both of them will come on, I assume. I don't know. I haven't asked Midlife. Dan's the only one I've had. Midlife eventually. Midlife and I will have to do some more talking, but I mean, we've communicated back and forth. I don't know if we'll talk off camera, if we'll talk on camera, be on live, be an interview. I have no idea. But it's good to get to know some of the people in the space. So anyways, I'm not going to talk about this a lot. I already mentioned it. I'm glad they actually came with it. I was worried. They mentioned, he knows P. Ryan through tickets. So I was worried that he was going to, they came with it. I thought they did a solid job. Colin, I got to be honest, Colin seemed like he wanted to be there more than Ryan last night. Colin was going. I know Ryan felt that maybe I'd have been sick or something. I'm not sure. But then they get Teapot on after going through all their thing. I thought Teapot did well. I thought Teapot represented himself well spoken. And the other thing I'll say is he shouted us out a couple times. So Teapot, I appreciate that. Very kind of you. And just besides that point, I thought it was good, bro. Going into that channel where all they've done is talk shit about Jeff Wilson and Sports Card Investor for years. good for you, and you handled it well. You handled all the questions well. Rhonda to call in to talk about the hobby, her opinion on some of the female content creators here in just a few minutes. Hardcore collector, maybe 5 minutes, maybe calling in 5 minutes. We'll see if we solve the echo. Yeah, having someone scroll the comments and throw them up for me, almost a must. I mean, we need to keep the comments rolling, and it's just a lot to do, and also me go. And it felt like a weight off my shoulders. It felt like one less thing I had to keep in touch with. But last night we had 275 people in here. That was something else. That was a record for the channel. We just hit 100 for tonight. People say, no, we'll go over that later. What else do I have? Oh, I have stuff. What are we talking about? I have stuff. All right.
Otani.
The older.
No.
Otani, Bowman Chrome out of 25 orange, 3 Pokemon cards, Charizard base 2, Pops Chrome, Gold Refractor, Will Smith.
It is the end of the world as we know it. I mean, cards, there are so many red flags of why cards. People are going to be over it in 5 years. It's people are going to be burnt out with it in 5 years.
Ashton Genty, Absolute RPA out of 24. What can we do here?
Kind of like to be at 15 on.
Yeah, except there's like 50,000 of them. The base Charizard first edition, okay, you're talking some money. The base edition without that first edition logo ain't shit because there's tens and tens of thousands of them. And so it'll just like that Griffey card we're going to get into here in a minute. Nope, doesn't make sense. And look, it's just 6 months. This is a 6-month jump, almost doubling in price in 6 months. The buyback programs are new. These mystery pack things are new. The shilling shit is not new, but something weird in the past 6 months, and we've uncovered it for weeks on the channel, and finally you see a little dip. Uh-oh, people get a little scared. First dip we've seen in 6 months. Uh-oh. How low will you go? How low will you go? What price will Bitcoin hit in November? So not only can you go just buy Bitcoin on this new predictability market, you can now go just bet what you think it'll hit. So if you don't want to buy Bitcoin or just buy, the Bitcoin on Robinhood, whatever you want to do, you could just go make a bet now. You could bet on what else? The highest grossing movie in 2025. Now, if they say it's not a bet. Of course it's a bet. They're just disguising it as a predictability market, similar to what you're seeing in the sports card industry, where it's just being disguised as a workaround. Let's do, where's culture? That's always interesting. Elon Musk, I saw. Let's go to the top. Let's just spend a second here. Number of views, Mr. Beast video in the next week. Now, if you're close to Mr. Beast and you have some insight and you think, that video is going to pop off. I know for sure that video is going to pop off. It's a lot of manipulation. This is first of all, it's just weird. This is a thing. It's somewhat new. And second, it just seems so easy to manipulate. And I have a viewer who's been messaging me for months. He's very into it. And so I've gotten all this inside information over my head. But then when you see South Park make an episode on something like this, oh, okay, what will happen before Grand Theft Auto 6? A new Playboy Cardi album, Russia-Ukraine ceasefire, new Rihanna album, China invades Taiwan. Oh, Jesus Christ returns. 49%, even money. Jesus Christ returns. What? Is this even real? Is Jesus Christ someone else? Has Jesus Christ changed? Is there someone in pop culture named Jesus Christ? Or will GTA come out first? Why is this even 50-50? What's going on with 49 cents? I have no idea what the hell. All right. Another card. Everyone wants to think they're buying the card. Oh, this is the special one. This is the one that'll hold forever. Sure. Keep thinking that. This is definitely the one. Then maybe the gold rookie card of Curry, all right, but he's got others. The flawless auto, this one. Now Curry's a sensitive, special place. I do believe the Curry cards, not many printed in that year, very low pop count that year. So, those are things you should be looking at. But this is not a rookie card. This is from 2024. And yes, it's a cool freaking card. These are cool cards, but it's all a hype and a fad. And if you're picking this one to hold over generations, it ain't the one. It ain't the one. And these are recently new highs for these kind of cards. And I just want to point out this. Tyrese Halliburton selling for $5,000. What in the hell is anyone thinking buying a Tyrese Halliburton? Great player. It's above, a great season, a great playoff run, above average player for sure. And now he's injured. Wait, he tear his Achilles? So, I mean, the guy will never be the same. He's already in his mid to late 20s as is. So what are we doing here? And then next to it, oh, no, this is the one. It's going to be the one. This one will hold forever. Stephen Castle, not even the number one, probably not even the number two in San Antonio. We're going to spend $3,500. Now, most people are thinking a flip. Most people are not thinking what all this shit's going to be worth down the road, pennies. They're just thinking about hey, I bought it for $3,500. I want to get rid of it for $4,000. If not, I'll take a $300 loss. I'll make $3,200. We'll flip it into something else. And in the long run, it's all overprinted, not rookie card garbage. This one's a rookie. The Halliburton's not. The Curry's not. The Joker's not. And are they cool cards? Sure. But there's a lot of cool fucking cards. All right, what else we got? Oh, boy. All right, we want to strike. This was a disappointing bummer. Still respect Trike, still like Trike. This was disappointing to come across.
Today, I'm ripping my biggest Arena Club slab pack ever. I'm going to be ripping the quarterbacks pack, where I have a chance to hit a Josh Allen Kaboom PSA 10 or a Mahomes rookie tie-dye PSA.
What is it? Mojo? Trike Sports Cards. You should be ashamed of yourself. Hardcore Collector just called in. I'm going to go for 3 or 4 more minutes, and then we'll pop Hardcore on, and he's got a few.
But win or lose in this pack, Arena Club is.
Will the Echo be gone? Trust me, I'm just as wondering. I want it gone more than anybody, so trust me, I'm wondering. Every show, is it gone? Is it gone?
Still looking out. You don't even have to buy a pack. All you have to do is follow them on Instagram, and they're giving away a Tom Brady Gold Kaboom SGC9.
Hey now, go do it. Why not? Reef, get in the givey. Then you'll start getting emails like this when you stop buying. Hey, Brandon, it's the guy who does all the emails at Arena Club. You probably think this is some automated email trying to get you to come back and rip a slab pack, huh? Well, you're absolutely. I don't disagree. I bet all this is true. And you know what? Based off how they advertise, not with Trike and them, but just what you see on the social media and how they paid these actors, or how Jeff Wilson is hitting a $200,000 card on Jim Rome, whatever the price was. It was big Jordan rookie. Come on. I don't put any of the. In 2025, man, look out. I wrote this email myself with a bit of help from ChatGPT. They've been playing a funny game. I wanted to give you a 25% discount to get you back into the action. There it is. Dun, dun, dun. This code will only work on gold, ruby, emerald, diamond, or legendary. Basically everything we have. It'd be really cool if you came back. Just in case you forgot, here's what our packs look like. Terrible.
Look at you.
Hold up. Where to go?
And I'm definitely getting in on that giveaway. Hopefully I win. All right, I got the pack up. I'm nervous. This might be the biggest pack I've ever opened in anything. An individual pack, I think it is $500. Let's rip it. Let's see how we do. Daniel Jones, downtown PSA 10. This might be, I don't know. I mean, he's doing well right.
Are you allowed to use the NFL audio in that? In an advertisement? Trike, be careful, buddy. Here's my problem with the people that took FTX money moved on. They're still doing well. Their YouTube channel didn't crash. Their presence might have took a hit for a few months. So, but eventually Arena Club might get found in some weird issues. Who knows? I have no idea. And, I'll make sure to remember everyone that took that stupid money. My other bigger problem with it is I just don't think any of these people actually think, oh, yeah, this is my best friend. You know what you should do when you're getting into cards? You should go take Arena Club money. You should go play Arena Club. So eventually, we're going to need another mod or two. That's going to need to happen. I'm going to need some more help behind to help chat. I can't be having these same freaking thing on the board all day. So if anyone is interested or you think you're a good fit, you want to help out, Trike with Mamba cards, not Mama Breaks, Mamba cards. Just, you're taking a lane. I don't love it. Also, let's talk about a little sponsors here. By the end of the year, the live will have a few sponsors. Promote products that are good for the future of our hobby. Another issue I have with people promoting this stuff. It's not good for the future of our hobby. Oh, it'll come in either way. If you guys don't all support it, the media has a big place in this world. People are seeing the hobby through all you guys making content. So if you don't take it, they don't get to promote it with you. And it's not good for the future, but it's good for the pocketbook. Here are some companies I'd feel good about sponsoring. I have a couple deals in the works, and these companies, I feel, what harm are they doing to the industry? Or I wouldn't feel bad telling my friend to go use any of these things. Anyways, let's bring on hardcore. I have a few more things maybe we'll get to at the there's Jeff Wilson and Indiana Jones. Should have some help cycling. Hey Trike, what's going on, bro? Yeah, you know how I feel. I told you how I feel. You know how I feel. Still love you, but yeah, we're taking a lane here. We're taking a lane. Not that Gio hasn't, not that Jeff hasn't. I just don't. It's not what I think's good for the hobby. That's all. Let's put on. Hey, is the echo gone? We'll find out right here. All right. You got to do some talking to see if this echo's gone.
All
Do
right,
we have
man.
an echo?
Hey, is that Indiana Jones? Is this his last crusade? That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, you got to ask Jeff. I think, is the echo gone? Did I finally fix the echo? I think we're good. All right. I know you have a couple topics you want to bring up. So
I did. Go ahead, sir.
No, shoot. What's number one?
Well, touch base real quick on Arena Club. My stance on Arena Club is a little bit different than probably some others or whatever. For me, I'm not a fan of them because I just think it's one step closer to get us to like where NFTs are more acceptable. And I know that other people are into that. And you had one of your guys, might have been Ziggy or someone else, saying how they're into NFTs, and I'm just not a fan of it. But that's me.
I just don't think NFTs are the. You and me have different thoughts on NFTs.
Yeah. Well, all right. And then Teapot, I thought Teapot, a couple things about Teapot. I thought he did a good job. I give him a lot of respect for coming on there. Most guys wouldn't, and he got a lot of arrows going his way. He stood his ground. He was honest, very professional. And, I think he even took a little bit of I don't know. I think your great grade on him impacted him a little bit. So I was going to ask you, are you going to shift your grade or category of Teapot up after last night?
No, I'm going to say exactly what he said. I'd put him in the B category if he wasn't guilty by association. I do give him a lot of love for going there. I already did that. Yeah. But I do, everyone I talk to that's in the hobby or that watches or this and this, they all pretty much respect what Teapot has to say. They like him on Blabbin. I think that's the guy, the one with the 4. I get confused with Blabbin and Slabbin, but no, I think he knows cards, but I also think he's standing next to, selling a business. It's not just he knows cards and is doing what he's doing with the boys, with Scotty B and them. He's also, pushing Arena Club and selling, making cards.
Sure. But if you were in his position, let me ask you, if you were in his position, would you go on Sports Card Radio, who have almost an entire channel on bashing Jeff Wilson? A lot of people do, but I'm just saying, would you have done what he did? I don't think I would have.
Okay, let me throw back at you. It was a brilliant move by him. P. Ryan just outed him for shill bidding. And we did 2 hours over here. Then they did an hour and a half over there. It was a perfect moment for him with a lot of live viewers to say, I didn't shill bid. So no, I give him, but it was also a great live for. If he did it on Jeff Wilson's channel, it would not have got the same love or same, trust in us had he did it on that channel versus doing it right there with Sports Card Radio.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Cool. All right. Got a few topics I want to get into. All right. First one is what's more likely. Sport cards continue to go up as Fanatics takes over the NFL card licensing next year, or we see a pullback in sports card evaluations from now until middle of next year when Topps takes over the NFL license.
I mean, this goes a lot of ways. So is this singles or wax?
I just mean in general. It could be boxes. You could look at singles, market as a whole. You can individualize it if you want.
Well, let me ask you, don't you think that now that this little scare is out there and people are more aware, that people will be less, they'll be more reluctant to keep bidding higher?
Yeah, I agree. So like a blow off top, or I look at it like where Fanatics and Topps has to keep pushing the bubble higher, because when as they take over the NFL licensing, they need it. But that's why I asked it in two ways. Either one, the market has to have like a downturn, and then people to be like kind of scared, and then like, oh, NFL license comes and they need to hype up the hobby, or they need to continue the hype going up. And I think it's probably more likely the hype somehow, whether it's them or other people pumping cards or whatnot. But I think they need people excited going into when they take over the NFL licensing going into next year. I think it's April or something like that. So
I disagree with Vanilla Thugger. Certain cards are not always going to go up. And when you see spikes crazily out of nowhere, that's not how cards normally go up. And so you're in for a fall on some of these things. Is that Tyrese Halliburton card always going to go up? Is that not the certain card? Well, someone in the world thinks it is. So what you think is the certain card, okay, keep guessing. There's a lot out there. Keep guessing. Yeah, I don't have much of a take on what prices will do that far away. If no football is going to be printed until then, is there football being printed currently?
Not licensed, that's for sure. But like,
so if there's no football
Topps
printed till April, they got enough buzz as is. People are going to be fiending for the new QBs or whatever the rookie class is.
So I think they continue to pump it up. Like, I'm kind of on that level as well. All right, number 2, most undervalued NBA player right now whose game does not reflect their card price.
Repeat it one more time. NBA player right now does not. I missed the very beginning.
Essentially, an NBA player whose card value may not justify the game that they bring or how good of a player they are. So like an undervalued card in the NBA that you think,
a player.
Yeah. I give you mine first while you're thinking if you want. So I'm going to go Joker. I mean, with how good Jokic is, I think for him winning MVPs, and I know they've only won like one championship, but I don't think Joker's cards really equal to how good of a player he is in the NBA. Where like there's other guys, like
I'm testing you right now. I'm curious where you go with this. Go ahead. It's a test, a professor test, a pop quiz. Go ahead. You didn't know. Why do you like Joker? So you just think his cards, he plays better than the price of his cards currently?
So I'm not a huge NBA guy, I'll be honest with you, but my son likes the NBA and I live in Colorado. And so he's, a Nuggets fan, and he likes Joker. He's got some Joker cards. You're saying, why do I think he's good? Or why do I think his card price? I'm just
seeing if you got the full range here, what's
I mean,
is there anything else that you'd point to why you like his cards?
I mean, I think he's one of the best players in the NBA right now. He should be top 5. Some people will argue like top 3.
Now you can make that same argument for Olajuwon at one point or Dr. J at one point.
Sure. Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I also like Joker, but this is the problem with the card world right now, and maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm wrong. Jokic has barely any rookie cards. He has 200 silver rookie cards and a PSA 10. Wemby has 4,000, and Wemby's going to keep getting more because it's a brand new card. So when you compare 200 cards printed in a silver to 4,000, in the long run, that's what no one wants to hear me. Everyone thinks if it's high pop count like this Griffey, that it's just going to keep going up, but it's not. Pop count matters a lot. So you're picking a player in a year where, his pop count's very low. Do I know if that'll hold long term? He's only won one title. Titles matter. Who's going to be the new kid that takes us all by storm? Will it be Wemby? Will it be Luka? Somebody else? So I do think he's very low pop count, and for that reason, he's one of the few players I'd like. But so is Giannis, and they've only won one championship, and that's a worry.
Sure. No, that's fair. I like it. All right, next question. So you're a big Steph Curry fan, right? That's not my question, but you are a big Steph Curry fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a Kobe guy, but I like Curry a lot. I like his cards for the same reason. Very low pop count, but I do like Steph Curry.
All right, so my question is Steph Curry currently a top 5 NBA player, or what does Curry need to do to be top 5 all-time NBA players?
I don't think he can get on the top 5, but I think he's in the top 15, if not top 10. top 5, you're looking at what? Jordan. I'm not even a LeBron guy. Like putting Curry ahead of Kobe would be hard for me, but he revolutionized shooting. Curry, man, he's right there with Kobe. He really is. Yeah, I mean, basically all he can do left is win one more title. That's all he's got left in him, I'd assume. And that's a far stretch.
That was going to be my take, is if he wins one more title, he should definitely be top 5. I consider him top 10, but I think for him to be top 5 all-time NBA players, he's got to win one more championship.
I mean, it's Kareem, LeBron, and Jordan. He's not going to get ahead of those 3. To me, I'd take Curry over LeBron, but in legacy and how you look at it, you got to put LeBron in top 3. You got to listen to others. And I don't know. It's hard to sneak into that 4th and 5th spot, but okay. All right. I mean, the 3 are like, you're putting Curry ahead of Bird, Magic. Yeah. It's tough. He's definitely,
there's a lot of greats.
He's a legend.
Yeah. All right. All right. I'll make these next ones pretty quick. Thoughts on Nick Kurtz winning Rookie of the Year? So, our A's
prove it to me. Do it again. I'm always worried with these guys. I hope he can stay as good as he looks. How about you?
But as an A's fan, you have to be a little excited, right? As an A's fan, you got to be a little excited, man. You should be like, yeah. Man,
it worries me we play in Sacramento. I just don't think pitchers are. I know pitchers don't want to pitch there. They're going to have a hard time the next few years getting pitching. It is cool. We got some hitting coming up. Yes.
Yeah. No, I think he's got a chance to be a really, really good player, which brings me to my next question. What percentage chance do you give Nick Kurtz to be like an Aaron Judge in 5 years? And how will his card prices be affected 5 years from now, you think?
No chance he's Aaron Judge.
How about you?
I'll put 1%.
What? No. I'm going to go 70 or 80. I think it's got to be like, I think he's got a chance to be really good. I do. Maybe that's a little high. I'll admit that's probably a little high, but I'm thinking he's got some of the foundational pieces. I felt like at least seeing him this year.
I gotta let you, Hardcore. Thank you for calling. We got a new caller. I think I have to take this. Hardcore will talk soon. You'll see why. All right, bro. This should be interesting. Hold up. We got to do this. This was not expected. Good afternoon. Good evening.
I'm just here to shill and nothing but to shill.
What are we shilling?
I'm shilling everything. I'm the epitome of corporate America. Cheers.
I am very curious right now. Who do we have on the line here? Taking a drink.
I am shilling myself.
How does shill? What do you shill? How? Tell us. Give us the insight. How big is shilling? Is everyone doing
I run the bids. Just try to get as much out of suckers. All right. I gotta mute it. There we go. Is that okay?
You're good. I'm very. I've never seen you before. You got a suit on. You have the perfect mask on. Give us your take. What's going on?
It's all about the money. No, I'm here shilling because I need to get rid of some cards. I'm a shill.
You're desperate, right? It's hard to make money.
Yeah. I'm trying to do a comedy on the card thing, inspired by a couple channels. I cannot remember their names right now.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, but what's your name? What's your channel? I get a little love here.
Yeah, you're good. I'm Buster Chestnut. Buster Chestnut.
Oh, I didn't know this was Buster. Get out of here. All right.
Buddy?
So Buster, you said you went to a card show this weekend. Am I wrong or right?
Oh, you are definitely right. Went to Grove City Card Fest.
Did you had a table or you
no,
bought?
I was just walking, vlogging. And I talked to a couple of people, made a deal with Brad Beeman, B Sports. So it was kind of fun. It was nice. But I'm just testing out my content stuff. Did a vlog on that. Had a friend of mine who is a music producer lay some backing tracks on that, which is awesome. His name's Doran Danoff. I got a comedian friend I'm working with. Produced
we're more interested in your thoughts on the shilling.
On the shilling. Yeah, I'm actually totally against shilling. Hence the character, my friends. But yeah, like there is no such thing as defensive shilling. Like it's all shilling. A shill is a shill is a shill.
Says the guy
Oh,
with the
yeah.
pig mask.
It was actually for a
Buster,
Mardi Gras
thank you for
parade I
calling
went
me.
to once.
I'm hoping to get Rhonda on here in a minute, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
what's
you're
going
good.
on. But let's talk soon,
good.
Buster.
I feel like you needed some comedy relief, so
Hey now, I loved it. I loved it. I think I don't know. Did you kind of run through? I think you ran through all the points. You have anything else?
Two more. They're quick. All right, MVP will be announced on this Thursday tomorrow. Who do you think will win the MLB MVP?
It's not going to be. You tell me. I think I don't know who's
Cal
in the front.
Raleigh,
You can easily look. I know who's in my head, but what do you say?
I it's like Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge. I guess Ohtani could be in there, but
Ohtani was my thought, but I'd have to look at who the. Let's look it up real quick. Who's front? Who's?
I think it should be Aaron. I think it should be Cal Raleigh. I think it's a good chance that Aaron Judge gets it.
Oh,
do you think it
Ohtani's
should
a
be Cal
heavy
Raleigh?
favorite in the NL. I mean, that's always the first guy that popped in my mind. Who's in the AL then?
You know, Cal Raleigh, he had the home run, leader.
I mean, Judge is a pretty big favorite. So Cal Raleigh is plus 250, Judge is minus 130. So I think it's a good question, but I just point to that. It seems like it will be Judge and Ohtani. Isn't that again? Weren't they just MVP?
I think it wasn't Ohtani MVP last year, or no, I'm getting it mixed up. It's like I feel like they're trading like almost every year or something, but yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. And then last question: why in the hell is the NBA and the MLB so terrible when it comes to the draft and like honoring awards?
The NBA has an easy fix. I don't understand. I thought this, and then I heard someone else say it years ago. Is they should just have, and then we'll get back to some cards, but the NBA should have, this is my opinion, a one and done tournament with all the teams that don't make the playoffs. Then all those like bottom teams get exposure, everyone to watch because it's a one and done, and whoever wins this tournament gets the number one pick. So now there's no lottery. Now a team that is somewhere in the middle of the pack's not always screwed, because some of those teams always just sit in the middle because they can't get any better. So anyways, I think that would fix the draft a lot. I think that would add hype.
Yeah, I feel like
they give the award the wrong people sometimes.
Well, for me, it's like the coverage of those events are like very lackluster. If you compare it to the NFL, and maybe the NFL is too overhyped, like when it comes to the NFL draft, you think of like if it's a player, they talk about the player a lot. They give a lot of insight and stuff. If it's awards, they have like a full-on NFL awards ceremony. But
the NFL's the best. No one does it like the NFL.
Yeah, but like the MLB, they announced the Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz, and it's like some Zoom call with bad audio, and like you can't do better than like this is the best that the MLB has for like announcing the Rookie of the Year or the MVP of the year. That they did like the Rookie of the Year and the
all right, hardcore. I think we've done our time here, but no, I'm glad you could bring these topics. There's a little off cards, but I don't have, I just think NFL does it the best.
You don't have cards, buddy. You ain't getting that no Pokemon pack, bro.
Say again? What do you say?
I said you ain't getting that no Pokemon pack. I'm saying
you brought it. You did. We got to keep them. So I thought your first few were great, and then we went off.
Usually it's going to be 3 topics. I'll try to think of. This one was a little different, just because the Nick Kurtz and the Rookie of the Year.
It just happened. No, it's topical. Hey, I just appreciate you bringing the topics, bringing the energy, and have a great day, hardcore.
Thank you, bro.
Well, all right, Frank. Holy shit, it's Frank the intern.
Good evening. I'll be brief.
Cracking.
Hardcore is doing a great job. I really like
keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Best community in YouTube is right here. Love them all. I'm really bothered.
Frank, what did you call in for?
I'm really bothered by the lazy dunk on dudes when we don't watch content. I'm really tired of it. It happens to you. It happens on SEN. I'm tired of it, and it happened on SCR last night with Neo. Like, they don't even watch this content. Like, and they really, really
they know it. You don't think they know?
No,
Neo?
they don't watch this stuff. Whatever.
Well, who would?
You were like propping this guy SCR up. Meh. House band playing the greatest hits. You know what I mean? Kind of lazy. Orlando is the man. Fire on the remarks. This is the guy is giving us wisdom. I'm really looking forward to Rhonda.
Hey,
And
where is
suck it.
Rhonda? Rhonda's not. I saw her post there. She's not back here. I'm waiting to have her. I don't know where Rhonda is. Not doing the comment. I'm not sure where Rhonda is. Hopefully she's okay. Everyone. Oh, speaking of okay, Bargain Boxer is not here. He's always here, Frank. Bargain Boxer in the comments said he's out of the hospital. He's not feeling well. So everyone, some good vibes. I'm sure he'll watch this when he gets to it. So I had no. It was, hey, how could I not? It was laid on a platter, Neo. It was laid on a platter. I had to. But yeah, shout out to Bargain Boxer.
I think Neo really got a bad rap last night, and
yeah,
really
they went hard.
They're clowns. They're clowns. I'm sorry. I know we're all in reverence of SCR and all that kind of stuff. They're clowns, and it really bothers me that
Frank, they're gonna be taking shots at you next.
I don't care. It really bothers me that like we don't watch the content, but then we're gonna dunk on dudes. I'm really like not about that because it happened on SCN with you.
Frank,
Like
but
they talk.
You know, to get it, we don't have enough people saying the truth around here, and I'm glad that at least even if I'm just glad some of it's being said on people that actually hear. Anyways, that's fine.
Are you glad it's being said about you? Like when they don't even watch your content? When Tyler Tarver's like talking about prof and I have a doctorate and he's like dunking on you? Like
Tyler Tarver.
It's lazy. It's lazy. If we don't watch the content and we don't see the view of the individual, then don't say anything. Like even that's a dunking in and of itself. We're not seeing the things. And then finally, suck it, Gio.
Hold on, let me help Rhonda. I think click the link at the top of this Frank just left. Suck it, Gio. Rhonda, you got to click the link at the top here. You might be backstage at a different studio. So I didn't send you the link tonight, but that's not going to happen. It's just too much. Speaking of which, I'm supposed to send it to Chris and AIH. Jesus. Anyways, Rhonda, if you just click the link at the comments, it'll get you backstage and then we can talk some of this, some of your opinions, your thoughts on shilling female content creators. Let's get Rhonda in here. And then I know AIH is supposed to call in at 6 and then Chris Sewall at 6:15. Hopefully Rhonda can figure out how to get to the back of this one. You just got to click the link. The link's working because these guys got in here. So just read some of these. Suck it, Gio. Frank, it's catching on. It's catching on. Chicken nuggets. I know. Nothing's my. Let's share the screen. Remove. I'm going to have to add that. Okay. Hopefully no echo. Echo's gone. Dusty. Why? Let it move, we're not 14. Not making any friends. Rhonda says the link won't work for her. That's a shame. We all wanted her on. We all would love to talk with Rhonda, get her thoughts. She's had the worst luck trying to get when her day is supposed to come. She's had the worst luck getting on here. But yeah, it's just the link at the top. I don't know, maybe hit refresh. I don't know what kind of device you're on, but anyways, that'd be a bummer. We'll just a big tease for the next Friday or whenever she can make it on. It'd be great. But also it's very helpful having Rhonda was doing the comments yesterday, and it's extremely helpful because it's just way too much for me to do the show and also just rummage through all the comments. I'm so sick of Dustin, Jimmy81. We have somebody back here. I think it might be Rhonda. Hopefully we get to talk to her. Currently says device not connected, but we will. What else do I have on my board? This is it. Barry Sanders rookie cards. He has the pro set. He has the score. And he has the tops. And then he has this random one, which isn't really, I don't think this is a Lions, Police, Barry Sanders. Okay. So if you count that, he has 4. And Rhonda's here. I think it's going to work. Let's see if we can get Rhonda on and talk some. Rhonda, welcome.
Hey.
Thank you for your help last night. That was great. Really helped a lot.
My pleasure. All right, there's my name. Last night it showed the... we're getting an echo.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Let me try something then, Rhonda. Let me unshare this. We had no echo for a minute. I'm going to remove that.
No. Yep, you got to echo right now.
The echo is still here, huh? Yep, I hear it.
Alex Mendoza, where you been, buddy? Where have you been? Haven't seen you in a long time. Hey, Bob. Thank you, Alex.
Stupid echo. Well, hey, some of you missed the echo. You got the echo back.
Hey, Ball. Hey, Ziggy. Hi, everybody in the chat. How you doing, Jay?
You know what came up and we want to talk about, but I want you to be able to have a little floor platform. What do you want to talk about? What's got your mind?
I thought you were going to answer me and fire away with interviews first.
Oh, okay, I thought you maybe had some opinion. All right, well, you already know what we want. Mama Breaks. What's the other girl's name? I can't. Mary Gamble. I mean,
yeah, we can talk about a lot of things, but let's talk about one thing first that's on my mind. How about those Patriots? Way to go, Patriots!
What are they, 6-2? I think they're 6-2.
Drake May, all the way. And if you guys don't like the Patriots, y'all can suck it.
By the way, Frank says in Grail, there was no echo, Rhonda, so we're good. I fixed the echo. We are good.
All right, I got to echo on my side, but I don't care. If they can't...
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy. I've been working hard for this no echo. I finally solved it.
Yeah, I can hear an echo.
Do you have me on?
Yeah, you sound fine now.
But you don't have the show playing.
What?
Do you have the show?
I'm not going anywhere, though. I'm not getting
No, I'm just... If you have the show playing, maybe that's why you hear an echo.
I have everything off except my laptop.
Got it. All right, so you're happy the Patriots. Patriots do look good. They just got my Jacoby Myers.
Cholo earring. What is Cholo earrings, anyways, John? So Grail Hunter was saying he was getting a little bored of hardcore. By the way, what is his name?
Went a little long.
What is his name?
That is a good fucking question. Hardcore, what's your name? In the chat, come on.
Jacob. I think you said Jacob. I wasn't really sure. You said it quick.
Jaguars, that's where he went. All right.
Oh, that's what he says?
I'm not sure his first name. What did you think? You thought he did well?
Yeah, I don't have him. I have Josh Allen as my fantasy quarterback, and then I just picked up Caleb.
Are you inspired and happy with the female content in the hobby right now, or does it make you cringe?
No, I kind of like the fact that there's mostly guys on here because those are really much who I hang out with. I don't have a lot of female friends, mostly male friends. I have most of my friends are male, so I just get along with them. They're just like friends of mine, just like some females. But this is where I feel more comfortable about talking about sports and the card hobby because none of my friends want to hear about it, which is okay with me. I don't care. I don't think I know one person. I mean, I followed some of the girls, but I don't have any interest in them. One of them is a little childish, and I think we know who she is. Reef definitely knows who she is. Mary Gamble. I don't.
All right. So at first, when I saw Mary Gamble's content, I'm like, okay, new creator. She's gonna try her little angle, do this.
But you nailed it. I didn't even think about the oh my god.
Well, quickly my eyes roll. It's just like, oh, okay, this is the same thing every time.
I didn't even think about that till you mentioned it, and now when I see her, that's all I think about. All I think about. Hobby, no, and that's better off, by the way. Thank you for your question. But I mean, I like the fact when I actually fast forward her shit when she goes from drinking a cup of coffee, what she's gonna pick out in the morning. It's almost like she's better off for IG than she is for YouTube. Does that make any sense?
Luis, nobody's more cringe than Santiago and King of Cards and Dustin.
Yeah, it's a little boring.
Just because I know he's here.
I fast forward to Mary's stuff until she gets to the card points. But I don't even know if she knows even what she's doing. I don't even see where she gets
Yeah, dude, that's a good question. Ziggy, I like that. Do you go to card shows? Been to a card show? Yes, okay.
Yeah, I'm going.
Went to a card show. I have something I wanted real quick. I had a guy said, I don't think it was his name. not gonna say something. He went to a card show and he said he'd never do it again. He had a table and he said you just get low ball offers all the time. Everyone's checking their phone in the comps and everyone's offering you less, and you're just getting all these low ball. He said he would never set up again. Sorry to go ahead, Rhonda. Sorry.
Well, that did not happen with me because I brought my youngest son with me. He wanted to load off some Pokemon, so I said, well, why don't you go with me? Because I'm bringing some high-end cards. Not really high-end. I didn't bring any of my Brady's, but I brought some PSA 9s and 10s of Shaq and a few other high-end cards. Plus, I had a lot of pack products like I have in the back. I have a bunch of boxes, sealed wax. So I bring a bunch of that stuff. So I have a variety for everybody. But the first card show we went to, I brought my son, but he sold more Pokemon. But I think I sold maybe about $50, which is $60 a table. But it was worth it because I got another invitation back. So the guys keep asking me to come back. I'm the only female in the room, which is super cool. But I get to meet a lot of people. Actually, one card show I went to where I picked up my first Drake May, he was 1 out of 10 for $100, was at another card show up close to the city. And I met a female there, and she was going to the Tom Brady Hall of Fame, just like I was. She told me where she was going to be seated. We're supposed to meet up, but we never did. So that would have been cool. So,
Rhonda, why, Grail Hunter asked a good question. In your opinion, why are there not more females? And now it's a male sport. You're talking about male sports. Most people that watch male sports are generally male, but why do you think there's not more females in the hobby?
There is. You just don't see them. You just don't see them.
Good answer.
We have 2 people in our chat, and I won't say their names just because they probably want to remain anonymous, and I respect that. There's 2 girls that actually watch you.
Hey now.
And I told you 2 of their names, and I've seen them pop up, especially since I started moderating a week ago. I'm like, where do you come from? Why are you being all quiet? Some of them are just quiet. Some of them, they want to be to themselves. I'm not showing everybody the room in my house. I'm not showing where I eat dinner. You don't see what kind of car I drive. You don't see me going to work or hanging out with friends or shoving sushi down my throat. You don't see any of that shit. This is just, I'm not on here for competition either. I never have. I didn't start this channel for that reason. I just brought this channel back for nostalgia reasons because my late boyfriend is in my old YouTubes from 2017. So I started showing them again. And then when I started getting subscribers, I put him on private. So, but there are girls out there. There is a few. As a matter of fact, I did reach out to one. Does anybody know Annie Agar? She doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she's on Facebook and she's got an IG.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah, well.
Why do you bring her up?
If you're into football, you should, because I follow her all the time. She's really good when it comes to football. She's like a football commentator. Every time the games are over, she's got a comedian.
What'd you say her name? Annie
Agar.
Oh,
A-N-N-I-E.
okay. She's a personality. Oh, I know her. Yeah, I know she is. Yeah.
Yeah, she had brown hair, but she colored it. She bleached it blonde. But she's super funny. So I love her. Love everything she does. Mama Breaks. I like Stephanie. I think she's down to earth. She's really cool. She's a good mom, good wife. The only concern I have with her is she hypes everything she touches. Everything she touches.
I'm glad you said it. Thank you.
I think she's doing the hobby a disservice by pushing all this shit. And some of the stuff she pushes is really over $500 a box. So if you're trying to set an example for your children, it's probably not the good look. I know for a fact that if I was starting 20, 30 years ago, raising my boys, I would have not done that. I would not be pushing $500 boxes. I'd be telling them, get your ass over there and get into the dollar bins and show me what you find.
They all want to know, have you talked to Christine ever? I think that's not a thing, but have you ever?
No. And there's a few reasons for that. I mean, when you get your super chat in return and said, I don't want your money, then I unsubscribed. And then I also got belittled live on the show. And I said, yeah, no, sorry. There's reasons for what I do. And I went on there to support her. And it's too bad. Some people just don't like me. And if you don't like me, I don't give a shit. Life
So
still goes on.
you don't have any topic or anything that you wanted, because AIH I know is going to call in here in the next 5
Yeah,
minutes.
that's going to be
or so.
interesting. I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, I've never talked to him. I'm very. It
That's
should be good. I am very curious what he has to say. So
Yeah.
in the next few minutes, is there any? There's nothing. Did you want to comment on yesterday? Did you want to comment on any of this? Do you have any thoughts on anything?
Yesterday was super busy. I did watch the sports card radio live. I watched the beginning and then I pretty much fast forward to the end. I like the beginning and the end. I got super bored, and I am not the only one. And there's a few guys in this room right now that were falling asleep probably halfway through the interview. And I just was like, I'm not
too long. It was too long.
Well, it's not too long. I think it was kind of boring, and I think they held back a lot of things that they normally talk about. Made me kind of wonder, why are you not talking about this and that and this and that like you did before? It's kind of interesting that you really actually, when I kind of flipped through, they really only had 3 topics that they talked about. First of all, they talked about chilling, which is old news. Why are you bringing that up now? And then why do you say you disappear and then you come back and then 6 months later you come back again? Welcome back. Yeah.
I mean, it was a big story and they knew they would. I'm glad they at least chimed in. But Rhonda,
no, fine. You know what?
You're welcome to come on anytime, by the way. I think we've put on AIH, but whenever you want, you're on.
Thank you. I do have some work to do behind the scenes, as you know, but I do have a lot of topics, and I could talk for about an hour. But
hey, chat. Make sure to say thanks to Rhonda, and we'll definitely get her on again soon. Bye, Rhonda.
All right. Bye.
AIH, what is your first name?
Rahul. Rahul.
Rahul. Hey, good to meet you. How are you doing?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So, I mean, we're coming off a bit, first of all, if you don't know AIH, he's been making sports car content for for how long?
About almost 5 years.
And he's always kept the same, a little boring, little dry, so be it, but always the same tone, always the same, this stuff is stupid. It's crazy. There's bad things going on. So you had some hot takes on the shilling stuff and you did your own research on it. So I don't know. Is it bigger than we think?
I mean, shill bidding, no matter what, is a horrific act. And I want to talk about the situation that happened a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be a little careful. As we know, Neo took down his video. And I think maybe a few other content creators did as well. But there's a larger picture that we need to look at. And I'm glad that you brought me on so we could discuss this. Now, the thing is, in that text message or in that story of P. Ryan, remember how he said GW, what is it called? Paid, what is it called? S, to like pretty much pump up the markets.
The Curry card.
To what?
It was the Curry card. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the Curry card. So who is S? So a lot of people, Sports Card Radio last night was talking about Shine, and Ryan said on my Instagram, was it Shine in question mark? I don't know who S is. Is P. Ryan making stuff up, or is P. Ryan onto something? P. Ryan is a very connected individual. P. Ryan used to promote my channel back in the day, and I'm not going to tell you what type of intel he has on people, but he used to give me all sorts of receipts on shady people in the hobby.
Hey now, okay.
Yeah, so he is a well-connected guy. Now, when it came to teapots, I pressed him in a text message the other day. I'm like, hey, what type of evidence do you have? And what I believe he was alluding to is that he got some sort of intel that teapots was doing something shady. And then last night on the Sports Card Radio interview, I didn't see anything suspicious going on. I am going to be talking to Teapots, I think maybe tomorrow, just to get his side of the story. But thus far, I haven't seen anything with Teapots. Now, Jeff Wilson, I don't know. I mean, yes, you've called him out, but do you remember how Jeff Wilson was pumping the Star 84 card last year?
Yes. And I've seen something on it since. It might have been you that I saw it.
Okay, yeah. So he was pumping it, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, this card sold on Golden as $144,000 profit." But he didn't even mention that he sold this card to a guy on, I think he's a CEO of Human Events, something like that. And I think Dan eventually found out by pressing him, and it was a private sale. Jeff did not even disclose that he sold that first card. He purchased another card after the fact. So that's kind of shady how he was just pumping it and saying, oh, it was $144,000 profit. So we know Jeff Wilson has definitely, misrepresented the truth. And also Sports Card Radio did a video a couple of years ago about the PPP thing, where you had Jeff Wilson, he got the PPP money, and he said, oh, none of the money was used for his investment company. Well, you had people at the marketing agency and investment company working together in some sort of capacity. So he did not mention that. And he has been very quiet regarding that ever since Sports Card Radio did that expose. He didn't mention anything. So those are two shady things. And, he used to hang out with Curator. He used to hang out with, who's that alleged card trimmer? Can't think of the name. He's out of Detroit. Do you remember that guy?
Up recently, and that Moser? Gary
No, not Moser. I just can't remember the name off the top of my head.
So who are you saying hung out with this guy, Jeff?
No. Jeff Wilson used to do videos with this guy. I think he has some sort of grading company or is an investor in a grading company. And I totally forgot his name, but he hangs out with shady people. We know that for a fact. And so now going back to who is S regarding all of that. And I received a text message last night from a hobby insider, and this hobby insider has given me decent intel where, remember when Fanatics was going to buy PWCC a couple years ago? Yep. So this guy gave me the intel. I did a video with his intel, and also I corroborated this with another insider of the hobby. And so he's given me information. He's given me information that Ken Golden or Nat Turner was trying to sell Golden, and his intel was correct. So what he said last night in the text message is that basically people allegedly use Shine to basically consign through PSA. Not consign, but try to get a good deal through PSA. So I'm just wondering, did Jeff Wilson use Shine to try to pump this card up, this Curry card up? That's one of the things that I'm thinking back in my head. And once again, P. Ryan definitely has good intel. He's very well connected.
But still, kill me. I throw another one at you with the Jeff Wilson thing. Not that I want to, cover, but Jeff Wilson's probably the biggest, face in the hobby, at least YouTube, all this. And so, it's easy to attack the big guy to get the heat off you. Now, I would love P. Ryan to come with receipts, and I guarantee P. Ryan knows a ton of shit. That's kind of my take. I think P. Ryan knows a lot of the people in the game, knows a lot of some of the nefarious things. Don't you?
He used to tell me a lot of things until he became, I think he was investing in Collect. And that's when the DM started to drop off. And also some of his friends, there was beef going on between us. So that's when, it wasn't a falling out. It's just that we just communicated less. We were still texting here and there on Instagram, but that was about it. But I'm confident that he has receipts on individuals. Now, why is he not saying anything right now? I mean, allegedly his mom got into a really terrible car accident, and allegedly she's on the verge of death. I can't confirm that, but from what I gather, he's been having a bad week. Maybe that's why he lashed out at Teapots, but I didn't see any evidence thus far against Teapots. But
no, I thought Teapot did a good job coming on and representing himself, didn't you?
Yeah, he did a really good job. He blocked me for whatever weird reason. I don't know why.
Doing investigating, I would assume that's why.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I said something mean or whatever, but it's nothing personal. As messaging you in the text message the other day or Instagram.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Did you come out with this? So ChatGPT said
no. Okay, so a buddy of mine, I'm not going to mention who,
Oh yeah, I could bet a few. Go ahead.
Okay, a buddy of mine took your information from Social Blade, and what OpenAI ChatGPT stated is that they believe that you may be buying subs, and
Well, they
then
believe wrong.
yeah, I mean, like
And what
you're
I
doing
told you
videos.
was ChatGPT could be biased based off the user. So if that's what people are fishing for, it's easy to get that. But no, all of it. I mean, I had a few videos finally pop off, and I think I
Yeah.
finally learned my best formula, which I'm going away from now with these lives. But I finally learned a formula that hit, and I had a good summer. It was fun.
Yeah, you have really good video editing skills. So I was thinking, okay, if ChatGPT is wrong, it's organic because of how you're editing the videos. That was like back in my head saying, okay, you're not buying subs.
And to anyway, it's
all
not
organic.
just it's also it's the packaging. Your thumbnail matters. Dustin's going
Yeah.
weird with them. And then your title matters a lot. And right now the lives are a lot of fun and going, it's a lot of fun being out here talking to you guys. And so yeah, I'm pivoting more towards the live than the videos because it's a blast.
That's good. That's good. But yeah,
So
I
you pointed out a story to me, unless you want to keep with the shilling on this Ken Golden versus
shilling, more stuff in a few minutes. But yeah, go ahead. What do you want to get into?
I started researching and going down that rabbit hole of the Ken Golden versus the Spiegel brothers, something like that.
Yeah, Spiegel brothers. Yeah, they're really rich dudes in the hobby. They are huge LeBron James collectors. But a couple of years ago, they had this one card, a 44 out of 99 LeBron James exquisite rookie card autographed. And what ended up happening, I don't want to get too much into details of this because I've done many videos and it's going to take too long explaining it because it's complicated. But they had that card removed, and we all remember the nefarious character card porn, right?
Oh yeah, big time. Yep. Well, not everyone does not remember in this.
Not everyone does not remember.
He was he was dirty and he was pretending like he was the best content guy out there.
He used to call himself a hobby watchdog. Like, people call me a hobby watchdog. I don't consider myself a hobby watchdog. I'm just like some random dude on YouTube doing sports card content. But he used to have this weird ego, so I thought that was weird. But anyways, he convinced Ken Golden, and he was working with Shine 150, our favorite character. Yeah, you've done videos. I've seen that. I mean, you've done your research. Everyone in the comment section knows. And there's also another individual on Instagram, Card Collector 291. And all these characters basically, in my mind, colluded to get the card down. Now, here's the huge, topic. We're talking about manipulation. Okay. In the Spiegel brothers lawsuit document, okay, I'm not making this up. People can look this up in the document. One individual was subpoenaed. It was a doctor that knew Shine. I'm not lying. This doctor created a flowchart of golden auctions, and he alleged, not me, he alleged that Shine 150 was at the top of the totem pole at golden auctions. Higher than, I think it was like Frank Denote or something like that. I don't remember the name.
That'd be news to all of us.
Yeah, I mean, so apparently at some point he was some high-end consultant at Golden, and this also individual, Michael Kramer, Card Collector 291, allegedly was also some sort of consultant employee at Golden Auctions. And from my understanding, they were all working in some sort of capacity, according to the lawsuit document, and they colluded to get that card down. So if you're talking about manipulation, shill bidding, yes, that's horrible. That's what just went down, and what we see, that's not good at all. But if you want to take it a step further, you want to put your tinfoil hat, and if that doctor is telling the truth about, at some point, Shine was on payroll in some sort of capacity, this Card Collector 291 was on payroll at some sort of capacity. If this is true and they took that card down, along with Cardporn, who's a scammer who was caught photoshopping, other items a few years ago, and in this lawsuit, they allege that Cardporn was photoshopping to deceive Ken Golden. So not only shill bidding, you got to look at who is working at these auctions and what sort of conflict of interest is there. And we all know the rap sheet of Shine. So this is insane. I think you need to do a video on this. I think you're one of the few channels that would actually do that. I mean, you have me on and we're discussing it. So that's,
I'm going to keep looking into that case because definitely.
Yeah, I could give you like all sorts of information on it. I have all the illegal documents. So
the big juicy thing there is that this doctor in part of this court case, the doctor that's friends with Shine says Shine or somehow in connection with Shine says that Shine worked or was connected with Golden
at some point. Yeah, I mean, I could send you the flow chart. Now, once again, it hasn't gone to court, but this is in the actual legal. And I've talked to Ken Golden. Remember the card porn saga? I was interviewing Ken Golden at the time a couple of years ago. And during that time frame, he told me specifically he can't get into the Spiegel Brothers lawsuit. I didn't know about this whole Shine and Card Collector 291, but I did know, which was really weird, a couple of years ago at a 76ers game, from my memory, Ken Golden, Shine, and Card Porn were all hanging out together. So this is weird. That doesn't mean
because Card Porn is established. Maybe I need to do a video on him because I think a lot of people forgot or don't know, but he's the one that got it the worst. You know, I mean, he was clearly the watchdog and then messed up big time.
Yeah. He tried to scam people at the National a couple of years ago. I did 30 videos on Card Porn actually, and people thought I was insane. So
and then you ended up being right.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God,
like
that's great.
I mean, granted,
action.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best feeling out there. Now,
the day Arena Club goes down or gets busted, oh, you don't know how I'm going to feel.
Right. So, but yeah, and then the other thing I think you covered this too, Mr. Wonderful and Shine. Like, how the hell does this go on? I mean, if you go back a few, I don't know if you remember, Shine and Card Kahuna were, involved in like I think it's a Pokemon transaction. It was like a fake 1999 base set Pokemon case that was sold to Logan Paul. Like, what's going on here? Like, I've had to deal with crazies just talking about this, and I don't have a big channel, but I don't know.
It's all too much of a coincidence. I mean, it can't be, it's all too weird. It's all too connected.
Yeah, and I see a comment.
I'd love to have you on again, or at least keep chatting in DMs. I mean, is that something you're open to coming on again?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'll send you some of the stuff with that, the lawsuit thing. So maybe cover it, get your own thoughts. Maybe it's...
You did a great job explaining it, by the way. I mean, you really did a great job, and I look forward to talking about that story more.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too, man.
Nope, got him. All right. Hey, we're going well. I don't think there'll be an echo. Chris just popped in. I have some questions for Chris. Mr. Chris Sewall, baseball card collector, investor, dealer. I'd like to call him a friend at this point. Always fun talking with Chris. Chris, how are you doing?
What's going on, my man?
Yeah, when Jaden Daniels did that to his arm, you were the first person. We had just got done having a conversation. I don't talk about the Commanders very often, and you were the first person. I was so ugly. Oh.
Dude, there was so much promise going into this season. They were so good last year, and it just went south right away.
Well, you'll get a top pick. I mean, that's how I think every year as a Raider fan.
The Commanders are going to be competing with the Raiders for the.
It's rough. There's so much talent on that team, and it's so shitty.
I know. Wait, are the Raiders have 2 wins? How many
yeah.
wins?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We got to get you a couple more so we can slip under you and get the top pick.
Because Mariota got benched this past game.
No, I actually stopped watching in the third quarter because they were getting shellacked.
Yeah, I think he got benched.
Okay, did he? Well, doesn't surprise me.
So, okay, I don't, something we've been following on the channel is certain cards, the Griffey, the Barry Sanders score, some of these random cards, and you've talked about it in previous years. I've heard, cards take a steady price and inch up, and you can always kind of count on what a card will be, and that's not what it is right now. And some of these staple cards, I just have a hard time. I don't understand why the Ken Griffey Jr. PSA 10 was $2,500 6 months ago, and it's $4,500 today. And people give me their theories and their thoughts, and I think they're all baloney. And maybe you'll tell me something I don't agree with. But what's happening?
Ooh, so if you want to, I don't know. The Griffey 89 Upper Deck is bizarre to me too. I remember during COVID, you were heavy in the hobby.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you saw that stuff.
Watching all the content, eating it, nothing else to do.
Okay, and everything was just shooting up like for no reason.
Weekly.
Weekly. And I think a lot of it was, I don't know, people hyping it, but also I think a lot of it was new people entering the hobby who didn't know what to do. So they were just buying, Ken Griffey rookie. That's what everyone sort of filtered to. I think there's a lot of new people entering the hobby right now, and maybe they're going towards that. I don't think it's going to sustain. A card like the Griffey with that big of a pop count can't double in value in 6 months and hold. I wouldn't think. What do you think?
There's 100%, but you know how many? Sorry to get emotional about this one, but it really
get emotional.
Thank you. I've had probably a dozen talks with people that, no, everyone's moving back into this stuff. Everyone's going into this stuff. All of a sudden, like what? In the past 4 months, everything changed. It's all I agree with you completely, and I preach it on the show a ton. Is know the pop counts, and that. The card that's going to hold for Griffey is Tiffany card or is glossy card because there's barely any of them, but not the PSA 10 because there's 185,000 of those cards graded and 4,000 plus in a PSA 10. So no, it's and it's the same thing with the Barry Sanders score. It's not a rare card.
So I'll share this because I know you probably love these sort of stories. This is one conspiracy theory I believe is true because I've heard it from multiple dealers. Completely independent of each other.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
this is a while ago, so it's not super juicy in the moment. But like in the late 90s or the early maybe it was the mid late 90s, dealers who had it in with Upper Deck. So Upper Deck had a really good relationship with Upper Deck. Their bonus, like if they bought a ton of wax, their bonus would just be here's a box of 289 Upper Deck Griffies. Like Upper Deck was just printing them throughout the decade, and that sort of lines up if you look at the pop count because Upper Deck was supposed to be a lot rarer than Topps and Fleer and Donruss, but there's more Upper Decks. There's more Upper Decks than anything.
Chris, can we rip a couple guys real quick? This David comment. I mean, you have Chris Sewall telling you this, and you have the professor telling you this. So, David, I appreciate you being here, but supply and demand. What is the supply, dumbass? What is the supply? The supply is the pop count. So when there's a bigger supply, the demand is less, or it's easier to get. It's not as rare. When supply is very low, when that card comes available, as Chris has talked about on his channel, there's a few people like the Diamondbacks owner that will go spend crazy money on that card because it never comes available. But you can find a Griffey PSA 10. The problem is David is one of the noobs that just bought the Griffey PSA 10 probably. But it's supply and demand. Listen to yourself. Well, the supply is the PSA pop count, or it's at least relative. It's our best way of seeing. And so anyways, I had to get that out.
Rare literally equals supply in the supply and demand equation. That's what rare means. Yeah. So supply and demand is what determines value. And if something's rare, that affects the supply.
So Gio, we just talked about it. It went from 2,500 6 months ago to 4,500. And now this whole scandal, it's down to 4,200. The first little drop in 6 months. But Gio, why did it go up in 6 months? And every single person like you or everyone I've talked to, a lot of people with this conversation, they don't give me anything that's real. It's either the buyback programs that are brand new. That's something new that could have skewed things, these mystery packs. And then Chris thinks maybe new people, but why are these cards going up out of nowhere? Barry Sanders hasn't played. He's not relevant at this point. I mean, I know he's a legend. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing in the past 4 months he did that, his card needs to go to the moon and double.
I think there's short-term demand has entered the hobby, and in the long term, the supply will catch up with it. I don't know if that equation makes sense, but that's sort of what I've seen in the past, and that's what I would guess will happen with the Griffey, but who knows? Maybe not.
Wait, flipping Steve. Let's see. Come on, Professor. You invite people to disagree, and then Steve, it's fun. It's entertaining. I have to come at some commenters and wake them up a little bit. I don't mean anything personal. Just like I don't mean anything personal when I say Dustin's thing is lame. Dustin's a great, I know Dustin very little, but if you guys are, I think that group of yours is good dudes. So none of it's personal. We're making content. It's sports card content. Let's up the game. Okay.
I once did a competition with some YouTubers where they had to guess prices of cards, and Dustin actually won the competition.
Hey now,
props to Dustin.
Who else was in that competition?
Mike Moynihan. It was only 8. It was Jeremy Lee, Mike Moynihan, Junkwax Hero, a couple others.
Okay, pivoting a little. My second question for you: did you bring any questions or topics, or am I going with what I have?
We can go with your have. I just have general. I just wanted to hear your take on your channel and how it's doing so well. But that can be for later.
All right, let's go to my second, and then we'll end with that, or we'll do that next at least.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, the shilling, all this, but I think the big problem that has popped in my head is these auction houses. And so my question to you, and, I thought maybe making the bids all public, but, Jeremy Lee says that'll never happen. But how can we make things a little more transparent or healthy when it comes to, I know you don't deal in some of these extremely high end cards. I know you're more, maybe you do sometimes, you pick up a collection, but it just feels like the auction houses are somewhat complicit or part of the problem. And I'd love to take steps to make that better, even if it's just talking about it.
Yeah, so I watched your live yesterday. So I'm a part owner in an auction house, a very small owner. I'm not involved.
Snowman's, right?
Snowman. Yeah, I'm not involved in the day-to-day at all, but I'm a part owner. My name's attached to it. We had a long talks before we started about what the shill bidding policies would be, and we researched a bunch of other auction houses to just sort of get a sense for what the thing looked like, and we were surprised. I remember Jeremy Lee yesterday came on and said he was going to do an overview of it all. Yeah, there's gonna be some. You're gonna be pretty shocked at some of the policies that they have. But I love your idea about making all bids public. When you first said that, I was like, no, you can't do that, because that's there's just people want private. There's going to be privacy issues. But then, kind of the more I thought about it, I was like, why not? Why would that be a problem? Except that you might discourage certain bidders from coming to your auction if they know their bids are not going to be private.
Well, Jeremy Lee simply said they won't do it because they want to keep manipulating. It's like it's I don't, I'm sure.
I can imagine big buyers don't want their bidding history known. But I still kind of like your idea. I think there might be more.
So for instance, I don't know if you do any buying and selling on Facebook groups, but you see everybody's bid. I mean, you the way you post the card, and then, you make the bids in the comments, and you see absolutely everybody. So maybe only the people that get to see it are people that are signed up for the auction house. And then at least those people can see it, and there's record of it. And then people could still use friends. Do I want to say this? I have it on a good source, and let's just say P. Ryan. Do I want to say this? Oh, man. There could be. I know. I'm like, careful. Everyone's careful now. There could be auction houses out there where one guy is winning. Chris puts up everything, and everything Chris puts up is going to the same. Half of the stuff Chris puts up is going to the same guy. That's kind of fishy and weird, and we can't see that because we don't know who's winning, and it's not public, or who's bidding.
I don't know. I mean, I've looked on. I've wondered why on eBay it's not public. Like, why is that hidden? What's the purpose, except I guess people have privacy issues. I don't know another reason why it would be hidden. So when you first said that, my first thought was like, no, you can't do that. But then I thought about it, I don't know why. Isn't the Probstein guy doing that?
Yes, that's right. He is. So what was important to you when you guys, when he opened that and you did some research, what was something that was important to have in this auction house that you think maybe others are missing?
One thing we have is what Jeremy Lee mentioned yesterday, is that if something goes unpaid for, it can't be relisted for 6 months, which we thought that was actually kind of Jeremy Lee's idea. We were all chatting about it, and we just thought that was a good way to look. If you're going to shill bid your item to protect it, well, then you gotta you can't relist it. We just thought that was sort of a good one thing that we could do. I'm sure there's more. Like this whole story, which just seems to drag on and go on forever here, is providing, I guess it's kind of making everybody sort of think through this, which is, I think, good. I think the conversation is good.
Agree. I agree on that.
If you go back like 10 years, I was talking about this with a friend, and I'm not sure I have this right, but I think if you go back like 10 years, like nobody ever talked about shill bidding other than, very, very loosely as something you shouldn't do. But I don't even remember it being like a topic of conversation ever. But now, it's way out in the open. Is like, that's an absolute no. And I think that's a great way we're going. And I think we need to go further here, clearly, because the conversation that came out the other day is pretty clear that, it's just all over the place.
I know. The other thing it too, I love that it's being talked about. And I also like that some people that are doing it might be thinking twice. Maybe they won't be, but now that at least there's a question in the air. It's a hot topic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It puts everyone on high alert, which they should be. They should naturally be on high alert for like, hey, dude, if you're going to do something naughty, you can get, I mean, P. Ryan's getting absolutely, I don't know P. Ryan at all, but he's getting absolutely slammed, deserve it or not. But that's going to put people on high alert. If I do something wrong, I might get absolutely slammed.
Did you listen to, have you heard the Beckett? Because Beckett said some odd things as well, which was so it's disappointing. It's
disappointing. I mean, I don't know that I can, I don't know that I have a whole lot more to add. It was definitely a bad look. Really kind of tone deaf, I guess we'll say. Missing just the whole, just the vibe of the whole conversation was just way off. I'm not sure what they were thinking, honestly.
Today in his interview was coming out how, him and P. Ryan know each other, kind of friends, but he was talking good on him. And it's just, man, P. Ryan just threw you under the bus for saying he didn't consent to have the video released. So,
I didn't know that.
Well, I think he's talking, but that's at least what he said.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Okay. Who was the defensive player you shot? Because then I watched him and I saw it and I was like, oh man, he is good, but I can't think of his name right now. Yes,
Frankie Louva for the Commanders. He's awesome. Although he's not having a great season. He was awesome last year, but the Commanders' defense sucked last year. But he was sort of like one of their few bright spots.
Is the auction house? Do you have any dealing in it, or that's just somebody? You're just a part of it.
I'm just a small owner. I partake in no day-to-day operations. We have kind of like a monthly board, state of the board meeting where we just sort of discuss how things are going.
Is he happy with how it's going?
Yeah, no, it's going great. It's going fantastic.
What is the name? Just so, I know they've said it, but just so.
It's CIA, which stands for Collector Investor Auctions. It was named after my channel, Collector Investor Deal. He named it after that. And yeah, CIA for, he uses the whole like, hey, we're CIA agents for our bidders and stuff. He has some fun with it.
How often do you travel to go pick up collections?
I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm going up to Brooklyn. Go probably, like, it depends on what you mean by travel. Like if I am going out of state, probably a couple times a month. But if you mean like maybe I drive an hour, then it's weekly at least.
How often, what percentage of the time is it you just don't end up buying anything, or this time you have it vetted, you have it vetted pretty well where you're buying stuff?
Yeah, I used to not be good at that. I used to go to everything, and now I vet it pretty well. So it's pretty rare where I go somewhere and I don't end up buying a collection, like way less than 5%.
Is business for you, I'm sure it picked up when you were like, is business, because your YouTube channel does very well and people know you buy collections. Are you busy? Let's put it that way. I would assume you are pretty busy. All I do is cards and family stuff. That's basically the only thing I have time for in my life, which is what I like. Those are the two things I enjoy. I'm going to beat you to the question you're going to ask me. We'll both go with it.
Okay.
How has it felt for you? Because I'm pretty introverted in real life. I don't think people know that. And I could read you like a book. You're definitely an introverted guy.
Oh,
so
how can you read that? That's interesting.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
I want to be alone all the time. Are you sort of that way too?
Yeah. And when I go out, I just want to go get what I need and not talk to anybody and come back.
So if you go to a card show, would you rather go alone or with like a buddy?
Yeah, I know. I have gone with buddies, but the guy used to go with, he's a Pokemon guy, so he'd go do his thing, and I'd go do my thing, and then we kind of meet up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
But like sometimes I want to watch certain NFL games almost by myself, so I could get I don't want to watch with the random NFL fan because it just takes away my obsessiveness over watching everything.
If you're a serious fan, you'd rather watch alone.
So Flipping Steve just called in. We're going to put him on here in a minute. I want Chris to answer the question he was going to ask me. I'll answer it, and then we'll throw Flipping Steve in the mix.
Cool.
Chris, how has it felt for you with your success with your channel?
How's the success for my channel been? I mean, it's been
how have you how has it impacted you, or it feels good having a little viewership?
It's completely changed my life. I would not have thought I would enjoy the attention. I do a little bit. It's not something I need, but I've enjoyed it more than I thought. And let me rephrase. I would have thought I would have hated the attention, but I actually have liked it. It's changed my life. Like it completely boomed my business forward. And it's changed my life in all the good ways. Would you agree? Would you say that is how you feel? I mean, you've sort of boomed here in the last, 4, 5, 6 months?
Yes. And I get, a little obsessed over this. Everyone's a little like that. And not everyone, but people are, you get really into what you want to do. And so it's been nice to find an outlet and a hobby and something, a lot of hobbies cost a lot of money. Sure, if I'm buying a lot of cards, but just making quality content, or what I think is quality content, it doesn't cost money. It takes a lot of time and effort. So that's been a great, fun way for me to stay connected. And having, getting people to see your stuff when you have a message you want heard. Yeah, no, that's really nice. It is. And getting some, you put out videos that people are gracious and thankful for, and I do the same. And so you get a lot of feedback that's gratifying.
Yeah. No, your content's very fresh. Like the hobby needed it. It's very fresh in that way.
All right, let's add Steve, which is really cool. Flipping Steve, thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Also, Chris is in the Fantasy Football League, so I do want to thank him.
Got destroyed again this year. I had Jaden Daniels, so
I am very.
Got all the big dogs in that league, and then there's Ziggy.
Yeah, I'm very bad as well this year, but hey, everybody comes together to this for a good cause. And I never got to actually thank you, I don't think, in person, other than just text or Instagram. So again, thank you for participating in it. That's all that matters.
It's fun. I take it seriously, but I lose. I mean, I go 3-11 every year.
It's just been a wasteland of injuries this year. There's a lot of unlucky people in fantasy football all over.
Yeah.
So, Steve, what's your take on all the shilling, the shill madness?
You know what? Here's my honest thing. I'm way out of the loop. So, first off, am I talking with Professor or Jason right now? I just want to make sure.
Prof.
I met Jason at the National, but we'll go Professor here. Okay, so
whatever you want, Steve. Do I give a shit? No, whatever you want.
This is your show, man. It's your show. So, so I get a text yesterday from the boys. Usually we're doing off-center tonight, right? This is how I find out about everything because I haven't been keeping up. So they're like, we have to push off-centered back because Dustin's going to be out of town in the holiday and the way that things are lining up.
That seems convenient.
Next week. So I'm okay. That's cool. And then, of course, Michael Ham chimes in because he likes to talk. And he's like, everybody's going to say you're pushing the live stream.
Of course. First thought in my head.
But you know what? That's how I found out about it. Like, I read the text message and I thought,
oh, wow, you're really taking a little break.
Yeah. So I read the text message and I'm like, did somebody take some videos down? And they thought that I was saying that as in, like it's already erased my mind. And I'm like, no, seriously, did somebody take some videos down? And so they were like,
sensitive spot.
Yeah. So they were like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I don't even know what's going on, honestly. Like I see stuff when I scroll Instagram, but I haven't been diving into it or reading about it. Honestly, the hobby for me, and I guess I did go back and try to catch up a little bit. And I saw Neo had put out his video explaining why he brought his down. And in the beginning of his video, he hit a good point where he does this hobby for fun. So even when there's stuff and drama around, I don't get into it. Like I just look for the corner of the hobby that I can bury my head in and still enjoy. So
But
You know,
Neo has a big following to talk. You know,
I get
what am I
that.
saying? Because Chris isn't going to make that kind of content. So why does Neo need to? But
Right.
Neo did push. Neo did want to make that content.
Yeah, and again, I mean, but I mean, anyway, you asked me my thoughts.
You're not
on
Neo.
it, and,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, you asked me my thoughts on it, and I really just haven't thought about it. And that's just the reality of it. And I tune into your live stream tonight, and I catch up on a lot of the stuff that's kind of been going on, and like that. But like other than that, like I'm about to like I only got a couple minutes. I'm about to drink this here, and then I got 30 minutes before I got to be to the gym.
Why? What's the break with the hobby?
It's SCV special, huh? So it's not a break with the hobby. It's just a break with content. You know, I'm still buying cards.
Wrestling.
Yeah, a little bit of everything because I like to buy cards or collect cards that relate to me. So when I'm collecting cards, it's always stuff that I enjoy. And there's lots of other things I enjoy besides sports. I do a lot of pop culture cards and rock and roll stuff and things like that, even movie memorabilia and stuff like that. That's the stuff that I keep. Sports cards was kind of like I keep my favorite players. I got some nice vintage stuff, but you know, there for a while. The side hustle was to
Why the break from content?
It's too much. I can't keep up with it. To me, when I started the content, when I started my content, I started it because it was 2020 and I talked about cards constantly, and my wife got tired of hearing about it. So one day I just turned on my cell phone and was like, I'm just going to talk to the wall about sports cards and put it up on YouTube, and that's what happened. And honestly, it took off faster, and I'm grateful. It took off faster than I thought it would. I got some subscribers faster than I thought that I would. It got to where, you know, I didn't ever want to take sponsors. It started turning into that. Oh, you want to be sponsored? Your channel's popular and things like that. And I was just like, no, I didn't do this to be a content creator. I did this to just be a guy that wanted to talk about what I was doing.
Something really cool that you do is that national giveaway, and I totally understand if that's getting put to bed because you were like,
it's still going on this year though.
Good for you. So you're doing it again this year.
There is, yes. That's what I was referencing earlier with Chris. The national giveaway, the first 3 years that I did that all came out of my pocket. Anything that, you know, if I was making profit off of the hobby, I was trying to give back to the hobby. As long as I was able to be prosperous in the hobby myself, I was going to try to give back. And that's how I came up with the national giveaway. So
Steve is giving away, you know, someone that once a year on his live will have a trivia, and it's normally on his content. I believe it's always on his content. So, you know, people that his viewership, and you know, whoever wins this live trivia, they end up getting a free trip to the national. You know, and so now I think it's part of this fantasy football league that helps.
Yeah, the fantasy football league pays for the accommodations. So basically,
so winner is just bragging rights.
Right, and a ring. You do get a Super Bowl ring that gets presented to you at the national, which
I didn't know that. I would take it more serious if I knew about the ring.
Yeah, Phil McGinn won the ring last year, and so I presented to him at his content creator party that he has every Friday at the national, and then the year before, actually, Jeff Wilson won. I know not a lot of fans in the chat with him, but he is in the league and he did win.
Did he make you kiss the ring?
No, but I was going to Atlanta. I was going to Atlanta to see a music festival called Shaking Knees Music Festival that takes place in Atlanta. It was Foo Fighters and Billy Idol. I really wanted to see Billy Idol. So I went to that with my wife, and that's when I ended up meeting up with him at his shop to present him with his ring. But we didn't do like a big content thing on it. I didn't want it to be a big content thing. I think he shot an Instagram reel, and that was about it. Because again, I'm not in the hobby for popularity, or I never started content for popularity. In fact, when it started becoming that, it became overwhelming for me.
So you didn't know Dustin or Neil took down their videos until you were about to get up with Offset, or they
said no, till last night when we were talking about planning for Offset.
Night.
Well, I didn't even know they had put videos out to begin with. Like, see, they're my friends. I don't watch your stuff. Okay. Like that's not a.
I'm gonna stay quiet on that.
That's not a dig at them. They know it. That's not a dig at them. Like I just don't have time to go through and watch a whole bunch. Any spare time that I have right now, I'm doing other investing. You know, I do the stock market. I do crypto.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm doing fantasy football, man. I'm in a bunch of different leagues, and it takes up a lot of my time. So, and I'm watching a lot of fantasy football content.
Are you continuing the giveaway? Is this the last year?
I don't know. Kind of at the end of every year or at the end of every national, I kind of decide on whether or not I'm going to do it again. Honestly, with the way that the fantasy football league is set up, even if I backed out and was no longer able to do it, I believe that someone could take that league over and at least, we could still do it through the off-centered live stream, because my channel, really, I haven't put out a video since the national. I don't think I put out one. And I haven't missed the content aspect of it. I just haven't. And I've missed my viewers.
During COVID, we had nothing to do. And so if that's when you're doing it, it's a big hobby. Now people have life to live.
Again, and like I said, like it's limited time. I don't have the time to put into lots of different videos. And
you put quite a bit of time into your videos. You would shoot a shot here and shoot a shot there.
Yeah. They changed because probably 2 years ago.
So do you, Professor, by the way. You put a lot of time into your videos.
My videos were originally just me showing my sports cards and what I was buying and selling, and just me in the hobby. That's all it was. It wasn't, here are my picks. Here's this. Here's what you should do. This is basically like, here's me in the hobby. And some weeks it's exciting and some weeks it's boring. And then I started
incorporating, because it was different than anybody else.
Well, I started incorporating some of my everyday life stuff into it, like my dog, and take trips to the beach and things like that. And I realized I started to relate to a lot more people like me that way. Like when I started doing that, I was surprised at how many people actually remained interested in what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about cards less and show my dog more, and people are gonna stop watching. And it didn't. It like tripled. But anyway, but I didn't actually come on here to like talk about myself or anything like that. I had I saw some things in the comments talking about regulations in breaking, and breaking should be regulated just like any other gaming property or whatever. And I believe that some people are a little bit confused in how regulations actually work when it comes to gaming. And I don't want to bore your chat, but I just wanted a couple things.
Yeah, please. Please.
Because I said it's not as black and white as in, here are the rules and you have to follow them, right? When it comes to a casino property, and this is if you're actually regulated by the state in which you're in, which I'm in the state of Delaware.
By the way, Steve works. Can we say that? Or, I mean, people know, right?
Yeah. So
Steve works in casinos.
Yeah. So what I do in the casino is I'm a shift manager in a table games department, but I'm also odds maker. And I also help decide which games the casino brings in, which ones we get rid of, which ones are good for the house, which ones give enough edge to the players. A lot of casino math and probabilities and things like that involved. So, so when I speak on this, and this is going to be more or less in reference to like breaking, because this is what a lot of people like to refer to. Breaking should have regulations. Breaking should do this. Here's the thing. We're regulated by the lottery. Now, not all casinos are. Some of them are independently owned by, just entrepreneurs or solo owners or whatever, and they can do whatever the hell they want. They're not regulated at all. People think that they are, but they're not really. So,
they're not.
Right.
Casinos are not, wait, sorry, I misunderstand. Casinos are not really regulated.
So we write the rules. There's people that make sure we're following our own rules. They don't write the rules and say you have to follow our rules, or here's the state guidelines. You have to stay within the state guidelines. What we do is,
I know in Vegas, maybe it's a little different because it's Vegas. Like a slot machine has to hit every so often, or that's written by the casino.
Well, not an individual slot machine. What it will say is it'll say your house has to pay out this much percentage. Okay, so, and so that's relative to your entire gaming floor. As far as it comes to slot machines, if you have 200,000 slot machines in your house, you have to pay out a certain percentage. All that could pay out on one machine. That could all pay out across the floor, right? And that
I did not know that. That's a little dirty.
And that is so that's going to be choosing the right machine at the right time, right? And that's,
or they can pick a machine that doesn't get played very often.
Slot machines are controlled by a computer. with one button, you can control the entire gaming floor of slot machines. You can adjust its probabilities.
So, Steve, where's the issue with regulation with breaking? Or
No,
what were you going to say in that
what I was going to
regard?
say is that a lot of people think that that when they try to compare it to casinos. So what I'm saying is on the casino side of things, we write the rules, right? So the lottery doesn't say, hey, this is what you have to do, right? Put your games on the floor. This is what you have to do. We write in our own rules. We then give them our rule book. And now they say, and now they basically make sure we're abiding by
Okay, now
our
there's
own
no
written
that
rules.
there. Okay, so let them write their own rules, but there's no second party to make sure anybody's following these rules right now, at least in cards.
Right, that's true. But I think what people are thinking is that they're going to come in and they're going to say, this is what you have to do. You have to show everything in your product. Look, if you're a repack, you have to have a checklist. You have
Like
to,
Whatnot did.
You have to remove everything from checklist. You have to do this. You have to do that. I think that's what people want. That's what people hope for. I think that's what people mean by regulation. But the thing is that when you're comparing it to a casino now, if you want to do it differently and you want to say, hey, I don't want to, but what I read a lot is in comparison to casinos, because it is all gambling. Let's make that fair. I believe breaking is gambling.
All right, I'm glad you said that.
I believe breaking is gambling, but I'm not going to shit on breaking because it's part of the hobby. It's part of what some people enjoy doing, and I'm not going to tell people how they should enjoy or not enjoy.
But would
the
you
hobby.
agree there needs to be more oversight, or I don't know if you want to call it regulation? How about just oversight?
In reference to what? Like to
Well, there's anybody could get on a lot.
User?
We go on Whatnot on our lives, and a lot of the Whatnot breakers are 23 years old. And I'm not dogging that, but I was 23 once too. And you're not always the most professional, and you're not always thinking about your customers. Sometimes you're thinking about how I can stay afloat, and so you're not always dealing with.
And you're not always honest. You're not always
That's
honest.
right. There you
So,
go.
like, if you have a casino and you have a slot machine. And you say on written on the slot machine, this is going to hit one every 100 slot spins, but it doesn't because you're lying. Is that there's oversight that'll catch that, right?
Or there should be, right? At your casino.
I mean, I'm going to guess that that's in place, but that's not something that's ever happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not something that's ever happened.
Well, what I'm going to say is it may have never happened because it's never reached the point to where it's broken the threshold. You get what I'm saying? So until it breaks the threshold and doesn't pay out, and somebody actually points this out.
And here's one issue with it. Like, I know in Vegas they talk about the gaming commission, but the gaming commission works for they need a job, so sometimes they could be biased because without the gambling, there's no gaming commission. So without the breakers, there's no breaking commission. So sometimes there could even be some corruption there. So it's never perfect, but I do think some sort of oversight is somewhat needed.
But so then you're looking at. I mean, then are you looking at a universal set of rules that all breakers have to follow, or are you looking at each individual breaker being able to set their own rules? Because again, when you talk about casinos, each individual casino is allowed to set their own rules. They don't fall under a general.
Well, I wouldn't mind them setting their own rules. Just let someone make sure they're following them.
And the rules are reasonable.
Sure.
But then you're talking about
the casino sets their own rules. Like they still have to pass, right? Like they can't just set like completely unreasonable rules and then
or I don't
here's the thing. A casino won't ever set an unreasonable rule because at that point you have to pay out.
And also people stop playing. In Vegas, they had a roulette reel with an extra, non-hit, nothing, and they're now taking it away because people weren't playing it.
Yeah, well, you have to pay out or people won't play. If people just come in and constantly lose, they either run out of money or they say, I have no luck in this house. I have no luck in this casino. I'm going somewhere else. That's part of what I do when I look at what games we should bring into the casino. It's not always about which games are best for the casino hold or the casino drop. It's also best in what games are people going to play, because if they don't
bring
have
them in.
much, if they sit here for 5 hours and lose all of their money, they're less likely to come back tomorrow. So we want games that keep people interested and have fun, but also give them the incentive to want to keep playing the game, not just you lost all your money. Guess what? Go home, because when you run out of customers, it doesn't matter what you have. So
We also, it's a little, people are worried about CT scanners. People are worried about product being looked at first. There are some issues that are a little different than maybe casino, but maybe the same.
Right.
There's just no back end accountability.
Right. But I'm just here to clarify when people.
Yeah, I think people throw that around very loosely.
People compare it to the casino. For instance, if I wanted to go, okay, so blackjack pays 3-2 in our house on blackjack, right? Every 20 wins $30. Every dollar wins $1.50. If I wanted to go to work tomorrow and speak with people within my department and say, hey, it's best for the casino if we start paying blackjack 6-5, not 3-2. So every $5 wins $6. And some houses do that.
Casinos do that. They're in Vegas. That's all it is now.
Exactly. And so, and people have stopped gambling in Vegas. You see, that's not a very good decision. It's a good decision for the house, but at the end of the day, you start pushing your patrons away. So that just goes back to my point that I was just making. Yeah, the house makes more money, but in the long run, you lose players. But just to say, if I wanted to do that and I had everybody on my staff agree with that, I could write that submission up, give it to the Delaware Lottery, and it would go into effect within 30 to 60 days.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's the point is there's no oversight to make sure anyone's doing it the way they say they're doing it.
That's just an example of how I can, the casino dictates.
No, we see it firsthand.
What they want to do.
Whatever game.
Right. It's not them telling us, hey, you have to pay blackjack 3-2.
Steve, another part with the regulation is it means something else to everyone else. So I told Ziggy's really big on it. I'm like, dude, you need a show where then we break down every problem so you can see what needs to be regulated. You have to know the problems. When you hear regulation, everyone takes it a different way. I know you were specific to breaking, but I also think it's important. We need to hit the problems so we can see what needs to even be regulated or what can be done.
Breaking, I kind of put, and I know Ziggy's not going to like this, but when I speak about breaking, I'm going to lump breaking and repacks into the same boat, because at the end of the day, it is buying a pack, whether it's a sealed box or a sealed pack, or a pack that's been resealed or whatever. It's still you're chasing the lottery ticket. Either way you look at it, you're paying for a spot to try to win an item. Sometimes you're going to get an item of lesser value. Sometimes you're going to get something of more value or equal value.
All right. I guess the only difference I would think is the manufacturer is making one, the other one, it could be a reputable company. It could also just be Joe Schmo making those mystery packs. So I see they're both equally gambling. I think.
Yeah, but wax you're not buying wax directly from the manufacturer when you're breaking it.
No, but I guess you're opening something that was created by the manufacturer rather than just by Timmy.
Yeah, what's wrong with Timmy?
Steve, I thought you did great. I thought you stayed longer than you said, and I thought you came with exactly what was up your alley, like exactly what you gave us all insight we didn't know.
I don't know if I represent what people feel like when they say there should be regulation. Probably I don't. But for me, it's like the ability to lie is so easy with repacks and with breaking. And you see it all the time. Like, oh my God, you hit this card. That's a $75 card and it's a $20 card. And it's so easy to do it. And it's done so often. That's what I would like to see eliminated. I don't know how on earth that is possible. But the lying factor, I don't mind if there's like long shot odds. That's okay. If it's stated up front and the buyer knows that there's long shot odds, but the lying I want to see eliminated. And I imagine in Vegas, there's no lying. I doubt that they lie to the customer. I bet they make it very confusing. Yeah. But I don't think they're straight out lying in terms of like, oh, if you play blackjack, your odds are you're likely to win. I don't think there's those sort of lies. Right. Maybe I'm wrong. So that's how I feel when I think of regulation is needed in the gambling aspect of the hobby.
Yeah.
Repacks move unwanted cards. It's true. And when you hit a card in a repack and they just they scream how great it is, and it's just a card nobody wants.
Yeah, I'm not saying the product that you get from repacks is as good as what you would get from wax or anything like that, but the general idea of how you open a repack in comparison to how you buy in and buy a break, the general idea is still pretty much the same. You're buying in at a lower cost, hoping to hit something big. You're basically gambling, for lack of a better term, pulling the handle on the slot machine. It was funny. We had Brian Gray on off-centered one night, and we were having this debate, and he was talking about how he did not think that it was a form of gambling. And then about two sentences later, he goes, "It's just like when you reach out and you pull the handle on the slot machine." And then he froze and he backtracked.
Whoops.
He froze and he backtracked. He goes, "Oh, never. Wait a minute. That's not a good analogy." He goes, "Because I don't think it's gambling." I said, "You just literally."
And that's the analogy Carl uses before.
Right. And I thought that was a funny moment. But yeah, I will say one thing about the casino is that we are required to
Go ahead.
let people know that gambling is a form of addiction.
Yeah,
and
great.
That, and we do have support and hotlines and things like that where you can get help if you have a gambling addiction. You can even have yourself what's called excluded from the casino through the Delaware State Lottery, where you can basically say, "I'm signing this paper saying I don't want to come on casino property, and if I do, I can be arrested for trespassing." And you basically self-exclude yourself from the casino. And then if you come on the casino property, the casino has a right to evict you and even have you charged with trespassing. And it's a way for yourself to keep yourself out of the casino.
As someone who buys collections once in a, I just bought one last week where it was a person who clearly had a breaking addiction, and they just would buy into breaks over and over and over. They just had a pile of cards they didn't want, and they had to dump it to me super cheap. I see that all the time.
There's three, mommy, there's three. Look up Del Park, Bally's.
Do they know what they have, Chris, or are they kind of at your mercy to tell them what they have?
No, the one last week, the guy just had no idea. He knew he had spent X amount of dollars on breaks over the last couple of years, and got all. And
he got a lot less for his collection.
He got pennies on the dollar, and I didn't even. It was a lot of stuff I didn't even really want to buy, but I'll buy it for the pennies on the dollar.
Gentlemen, we did 2 hours. Charles just called me. I think we're ending here. Chris was on 45 minutes. Flip and Steve, I appreciate you calling in, and we'll do it again Friday. This was awesome. I enjoyed talking to you both and everyone that called in very much. And thank you both for calling in.
Yeah, of course.
No, hold on. I got to correct the mommy real quick. She said they're converted racetracks, not casinos. There's actually casino in the name. Harrington Raceway is now Harrington Raceway and Casino. Dover Downs, which Downs is a term that is used for a racetrack, was once Trade Winds, now has been bought by Bally's. Now is a Bally's casino property. Del Park is still.
Steve's coming on here lying about what he does for a living.
Yeah, no, it's funny how much people know until you inform them, right? But at one time it was Harrington Raceway.
In Delaware. There's definitely casinos in Delaware. I live right next to it.
Yeah, there's three.
Chris, I hope to talk soon, and then Steve, I'd like to continue to maybe have an open communication.
Awesome.
I'd like to come on again sometime and just talk about other things than what I just talked about.
Now that'll be great. I look forward to it. Hey, have a good night, guys.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Charles. We'll end with Charles. Throw him on. How are you going to top Chris Sewall and Flip and Steve? But Charles looks like he has something to say, and then we'll end it here. We did 2 hours. I thought it was much different. Someone mentioned, yesterday was a special show. It's the biggest news that we've got all year. So, of course, yesterday's gonna be good. We had 190 people at max tonight. That's awesome. Pushing 200. Let's finish with Charles. What did you want to come on and throw out here?
You still have that email, that screenshot I sent you?
Oh, I showed it earlier today. Started the show with it.
If you have any doubts that Arena Club's all about is not gambling or any of that bullshit, just bring that back.
I think all those guys at least agreed. Yeah, no, we did that earlier, Charles. That's crazy they sent those emails. That is crazy.
Yeah, because me and you thought, or I thought, okay, it's Reddit. Everything on Reddit's sometimes phony and fake. It's usually 50-50. Then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I used to do Arena Club back when I was just getting into it, and I thought it was kind of cool. And I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And then I looked and I seen it was September 29th. I got that damn email. I'm like, oh my God, it's the same verbiage, the same sort of script.
Insane. Wow. All right.
I'm like, it's sad. It's sad. And by the way, if you didn't know this, Topps Chrome baseball updates out. Baseball cards. So many hobbyists, so many influencers have hit like crazy stuff out of these packs. It's the craziest I've seen hype wise on a card since I've been back in the hobby on a set of cards. It's so fascinating. And they're not even hiding it anymore. It's like, we're getting this hit, we're getting that hit. Something's wrong with curation.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
coming back, huh? It's coming back.
yeah. Oh, trust me, they're coming out with Chrome in
I'll have
December.
to take a look. Send me anything you see.
All right.
All right, Charles.
We're at
Have a
2
great
hours.
night.
All right.
Hey, it was a really fun show. Great show. Thank you to Chris. Chris, always enjoy talking with you. Really great. First time really talking to Flippin' Steve on camera. It was nice of him to call in. Hardcore Collector. Who else? We got to talk to Rhonda for a little bit. Rhonda didn't give us that juice, but she did, she did say honestly, she respects Mama Breaks and these people. And she did say she hypes too much though. She's hyping. Gentlemen, ladies, another success. Friday night. I don't know if Friday night's going to top Tuesday and Wednesday. And last Friday I was feeling kind of tired. I need to bring the energy Friday. We covered a lot. If you want to go bet on what will happen first before GTA 6 comes out, will Jesus Christ return before GTA 6 comes out? If you want to bet on, you can do it on Polymarket. Everything's becoming a gamble. Gentlemen, I'll see you Friday. All right. That was a lot of fun. See you guys. Thanks for being here.